Hey everybody, it's Tuesday. It's time for another episode of LonsTV. Lots to talk about today. First thing, I actually took the bus. I know I've sworn, I call it the dirty bus, and I've sworn I would not take it, and I've been renting cars when I have to go places just to avoid having to take the bus. But I finally broke down today because it's just been too long, and I'm tired of spending all the money to rent cars. It's just not efficient after you've done it once or twice. So I took the bus across town today from Los Feliz all the way to Santa Monica, which is really far across town for people who aren't in LA. It's not distance far. It's just like far. Like it's a trek, and there's no good, clear way to go. You always have to either cut down and then over. You can't just go diagonally there, and it's a logistical nightmare even in a car. And taking a bus, I have to walk down, and then I take a bus from Los Feliz down, and it's supposed to be down to Venice and Fairfax, and then a bus that gets on the freeway and takes you to Santa Monica. But I screwed up because I looked at the map and it just said Santa Monica, and I assumed that meant Santa Monica Boulevard, and it meant the Santa Monica Freeway. So I got off the bus way before I was supposed to, and then I had to jump on another bus and get back and hope that I made the other connecting bus before I had to wait for that bus. So it wound up being long story short, I'm a grown man and I suck at riding the bus. I'm like nervous the whole time, and I have a lot of bus anxiety, train anxiety too, because it's always like, you really don't even need to know your stop. You need to know the stop before your stop. But I always forget to research what the stop before my stop is. So I never know if we're about to get to where I want to be. And I basically spend my entire time ready to pounce whenever I'm on public transportation, because I never know are they going to stop again, or is this my last stop and then I have to walk? And it caused me a lot of anxiety. So I did it today. It ended up working out fine, and it's really not even that bad. In fact, I'm going to do it again tomorrow because I have to go to Santa Monica to record This Week in YouTube. So it's a crazy bus adventure week on LonsTV. The other thing I wanted to talk about next is Mahalo. Mahalo 4.0 has launched. I think today it launched today, and early this morning in Germany, in Munich, Germany, Jason Calacanis, the CEO and founder, sort of showed it off and was talking about it. I've had a chance over the last week. I was helping them beta test a little bit, and I worked on a few random pages for the editorial team over there. So I've been checking it out for a while. I was originally a little bit weirded out by Jason's claim that this is a pivot, because usually when you think of a tech company and then it's pivoting, they're really they're dramatically changing the product that they offer. He always cites Groupon, which was doing something completely different, nothing remotely coupon related, and then came up with the coupon thing. And that's what I usually think of as a pivot, and clearly Mahalo 4 is not a pivot in that sense. I mean, it's not really taking everything in a different direction. It's still the same basic idea. It's Q&A, it's topic pages, it's like a community, but one that's built around knowledge and information exchange. So it's still that. It's just working and integrated much better. And honestly, looking at it now, it reminds me a lot of what in 2007 and 2008 we used to talk about wanting Mahalo to be, and we were always taking these sort of baby steps or half steps there, but we would get distracted, or there would be, just lots of things that we didn't understand how they would work yet. And now this is the product of, after 4 years of that, trial and error and figuring out what to do, now it really feels like they've sort of come up with the product. So I don't know, I get why he's calling it a pivot, because there's a lot that's new, and he wants to stress that a lot of these hurdles have been overcome, but it's really just the benefit of 4 years of experience on that old project, and now here's what it should have been. What we set out to do was a lot more sort of basic, and it was a lot more, I think, of a response. The original Mahalo was a response to Google and to search engines, and here's what we don't like about those, and here's something we're going to try to make it better. And this new one feels more totally independent of that. Here are the things people will want to find information on, and we're just sort of gathering it all together. So I don't mean for this to sound like a review, because it's not really fair for me to review a site that I worked on for so long. I put in about 3 years on Mahalo, and now it's at year 4, and it's Mahalo 4.0, and I mean, it looks better, and it has the 3 things that it has that we always wanted that now work for the first time. It's a Q&A system, but it's flexible, and it's social. The old Mahalo Answers was much more rigid, and this one opens it up a lot more. It's topic pages. We always wanted topic pages to be more robust, and we wanted to make them easier to read and to edit and interact with. That was always my biggest pain point with Mahalo because I was in charge of getting people to write and post things on it, and it was very complicated before and not intuitive. And we would always work to refine. And I mean, I don't want to knock the people who designed the original one. They're geniuses and they did amazing things. And I mean, we would take it from here and then in 6 months it would be so much more refined. So everybody was doing a great job back then. It took a long time to sort of figure out how to do this stuff. And now it's WYSIWYG and it's so immediate to just move things around and edit them. It's really beautiful. And the final thing, we always wanted it to be more visual and more exciting to look at. More photos, more videos, and it now feels like they figured out how to get tons of graphics and videos and all kinds of multimedia content right on the site and interacting with all the other parts of the site. So we had tried our best back in the day. We had some measure of success. I don't want to say like everything was, terrible back then, but I feel like now this is a culmination. This is the first time they've really gotten the all-in-one information solution sort of, and you can sort of see how it would work and come together. And I'm sure there's still work over there for those guys to do, but this really feels like it's bringing a lot of that together. So I congratulate them. I think it's an awesome step forward, and I look forward to using it. And the last thing I want to talk about, and this is sort of a review. I mean, it's fair for me to review, but it just seemed tied into the Mahalo thing I was talking about, was Qwiki, which also has launched this week, and it is, I don't know if you guys have tried it, it's Qwiki, and the idea is it's like a robot reads you Wikipedia, and then you see a slideshow of images related to like what you're hearing. And it's not always just going to be Wikipedia. It's just Wikipedia for now. But then they could basically apply this system anywhere. So the concept is this like algorithm that will take text and turn it into a spoken word slideshow, like a little presentation in case you'd rather learn about this thing by watching than reading about it. I get that, and yet I sort of don't get it. It's when you use the site itself, it's both a better and even a more pointless experience than I had imagined. It's better because they're pretty good at making it not feel like an algorithm. Like, it's pretty natural, and the robot screws up sometimes, and it'll show you like an unrelated picture. Like, it's talking about a guy, and then it'll be like, and then he worked for Walt Disney, and then you'll see like Brer Bear, and it's like, that's not exactly a good match of topic to picture. But that doesn't happen all the time, and like the fact that most of the time it's sensible, even though no human actually worked on it, is pretty impressive. But it's pointless in that, why wouldn't I just read the Wikipedia page? I mean, searching and researching and being active, like, it's sort of an active, engaged community. You can't passively research, and that's almost what this is trying to do. Like, the point would be, like, if I was going to look up Brer Bear, I would watch a slideshow where it's basically deciding the information I want, or I could read it for 2 seconds and then be like, oh, I really wanted to learn about Song of the South, and then click there, or open up a new tab and watch like a cartoon of it while I'm reading about it. And like, that's how human beings research, and that's what internet research is really sort of all about. And Qwiki is like robbing you of that, and it's robbing you of that to provide you instead with like a minute-long slideshow, if that. And it's not even like you could skip and drag around and just watch the parts you want. It's basically like you're just watching this program that it's made for you. And I just don't understand why that would be better than the real experience of doing research yourself. It's like, computers are powerful, but we don't have them write like history books, like historical writing, nonfiction. Like, you could have it compile data, and I know there are those books, like, you can order them to order or whatever, but like, there's a reason that we have human beings like our historians and gather this, because they're the ones who can make sense of this information in an interesting, valuable way. So anyway, I think the tech is good, and maybe if it was working on something other than Wikipedia, it would be better. Like, food or cocktail recipes was the first thing I was like, if I could watch how to make an old-fashioned instead of reading it, that would be way more valuable. But that's really like a video almost. Anyway, I'm sure there's ways they could apply it to other indexes of data other than Wikipedia that would make more sense to me, but I'm sort of not getting the amazing bit of it yet. Maybe it's just me. So that's LonsTV for today. I know we covered a lot of ground. It's almost 10 minutes. I always try not to do this, and I fall into the trap. Thanks for joining me. Please do subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you tomorrow for Web Series Wednesday.